Well, we just watched episode 13 of Gotham, season 2. A dead man feels no cold, so what do we learn? Well, we learned that Dr. Leslie Tompkins might still have a little bit of hatred towards Barbara Gordon, a little bit. She called her the B word. Thought this was a family show. Put the kids to bed for this one. What else did we learn? Well, Black might not crack, but Nora Fry sure does. Too soon? Maybe. And, you know, there's something off-putting about that Hugo Strange. What would be the best word to describe Hugo Strange? Weird? I think that's it. My guests tonight, from the In the Comics Dead edition, David Cottingham and Russell Johnson. I'm Chad Perkins, and this is After Gotham. I never know what's so funny when we start these things. Hello and welcome to After Gotham. I am Chad Perkins. Please welcome to the red couch of not preparing for what the red couch is every week now, and I really have to work on that. From In the Comics Dead edition, he's David Cottingham, and he is Russell Johnson.
It's the most I've been on the show this season.
Yeah, I know.
That's not a good sign, probably.
No.
Jump the shark at that point.
Yeah.
When you add new character.
Yeah,
you know,
our budget got away from us, so you're the only
throw a
person we
kid or a
could
baby
afford.
in here, then the show's just over at
Right.
that point.
Yeah. You should bring your kid on next time.
Yeah. Probably do a better job than me.
Yeah, wow.
He's got a lot to say.
Dead Man Feels No Cold. Long episode title, but prevalent to it. First impressions, Russell Johnson.
We talked about this earlier today a little bit. I was kind of like in the middle ground on this episode. And I was kind of like, okay, we get it. Okay, trying to save her. It just seemed like a really long, drawn-out sequence. Just one scene, really, just trying to save her. Even though Penguin and stuff was in there. So the ending of the episode saved it. That little tag at the end, that saved it for me, made it a fairly solid episode. I mean, I know why they went that whole way. Mm-hmm. Again, a little long to get there, but other than that, it's good. I liked it. I like the how he, because I was like, he's dead. Stop killing off major villains. And my wife she goes, well, I mean, there's plenty of like villains in Batman, right? I'm like, yeah, but he's like a major one. I mean, you don't, you know, he's plus, still like just below kind of Penguin and Riddler and Joker, but he's still.
Well, plus all the advertisements for Gotham with all the frost and ice,
right?
And like this whole season's going to be about Mr. Freeze.
So it didn't take me long to go, oh,
yeah, oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Dave got him.
Yeah, I actually enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good. I mean, pretty on par with what we got last week, I think. You know, I was kind of shocked. I'm glad. It shocked me a little bit that Nora passed, and I felt like everybody else, kind of like, whoa, he just killed himself, you know, like so he's gone now. But then, yeah, it makes sense to create the actual Mr. Freeze, you know, that we know in the comic book. So, but overall, I thought it was good. I think, you know, I thought Tompkins did a good job. I thought Bruce did a good job, you know, in that episode, getting him back in here. So, yeah, I liked it.
Let's get to the decision of Nora to kill herself as opposed to being frozen and maybe woken up sometime in the future. Question for you: do you think that was an irresponsible choice of hers, knowing that, you know, there could have been several different ways that Victor could have taken her death, and one of them could have been a killing spree. What do you think is the real reason why she decided to ice herself?
Ooh, that's a tough question.
I mean, you really think it's...
Because I don't think that her first thought would be, well, he's going to go on a mad killing spree. Because she'd already stated he only did the bad things for me. So if I'm not here, he won't do bad things. Well, and he's giving himself up to the police. Yeah. You know, there's no real plan to unthaw her once she's. I mean, I think she's kind of like, okay, I need to be out of the picture because she's the key to him doing all this stuff.
Well, she was definitely his reason for existing. You know, so I was kind of thinking if she, especially when he figures out, hey, you've killed yourself, not letting me be able to save you, I could have see him snapping. It could have been, yeah, he was doing those things to save her, but maybe, like a lot of villains, he got a little taste for the killing.
Oh, she got, I think she just, I mean, she knew him better than anybody, so I think she took a shot, took a gamble. I mean, but on the other side of it, I thought it would have been a good, on the other side, I thought it would have been a good ending anyway if she would have agreed, okay, freeze me, let's, whenever you do get out of prison or something like that, or maybe someone will find a cure. That's the other side of it is if you freeze me and you go to prison, then I'm just going to be frozen the rest of my life
So
anyway,
that's kind of the other side of the coin. Do you think she really didn't want to wake up in a world where she didn't have her beloved Victor?
I think that's possible.
I do.
Sure.
I think I'll like it to take it back to the comics, or at least the Batman animated series.
Wait, is this based on a comic?
But I mean,
Say what?
The Batman animated series had an episode,
The best episode ever.
exactly. So I think they kind of played off that.
Art of Ice. That's when the whole thing
yeah,
was
so
created,
it is like their love for each other, and if they don't have one another, they don't want to exist. Neither of them. I
Very
mean,
Romeo and Juliet.
Mr. Freeze just been. He was just kind of brought back by Hugo Strange because he got that formula. So he's like, why am I alive? I mean, I don't think he wanted to exist without her either. So that's the nature of Mr. Freeze being a sympathetic character to begin with, because he's like, I'm just doing it all for love. And it's a heartbreaking episode.
It is.
Yeah.
Animated series is sweet.
Yeah.
Missed opportunity, though, not having the way that the animated series took it, where Nora is this...
That would have been
basically in a snow globe type of thing, and yeah.
That would be kind of cool.
That could have, for me, I thought that would have definitely been the driving force through this season. If this really is going to be a Mr. Freeze second half of the second season, is her being frozen, trying to find the cure, and cops are getting in the way and so forth. So, Dave, missed opportunity?
Yeah, I think so, because I actually thought at the very end, when we see that shot of somebody I thought it was going to be her.
Yeah.
I thought Hugo Strange might have figured out a way to
I mean, he has a cryo chambers.
cryogenically freeze her.
I guess that could still be on the table.
But the cracking is what sold it. Yeah, I think and the fact that she did use not just A15, it was A3. It was like an old version that didn't really work. So I think she's gone for sure. But I do think it was missed. I think if somehow they could have kept her alive, and now Hugo, has her, and he's able to still continue research while he's working for Hugo. I mean, that's a setup right there. So yeah.
So now he just has to be bad for bad sake.
Correct.
Or whatever Hugo forces him to do, I guess. Maybe he gets reprogrammed by Hugo.
Yeah.
Speaking of that four-fingered thing in the window, I kind of thought if it was more claw-like, maybe Man-Bat. I don't know. Thoughts?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know who that is. Could be.
I mean,
because they were like really long fingers too. They were like,
yeah.
I mean, was it possibly a Galavan? When they showed Galavan at the end, was it a version of him that is like deformed now?
Umbrella face.
Because they're showing because there was like several of them like in a row, right? And that.
Well, I was gonna.
Well, I've been spoiled. I mean, I know the spoiler to Galavan.
Oh, you do? Well, I don't.
Okay, well.
I won't give it away, but I saw pictures. They had on-set pictures of an outfit that he's in later on.
Okay, well, let's just tell the people right now. We're going to have Russell tell us about it. If you don't want to hear it, skip ahead about a minute. All right, Russell, spoil away.
So in the comic books, there's a character named Azrael who took over for Batman after Batman.
It's Galavan?
Back got broke. Yeah, well, the Saint of Dumas, that is part of Azrael's storyline.
Oh.
And there's a shot of him on set, not with the hood on, but in the Azrael outfit.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know that there's not multiple ones, or he does different things, but that's the one shot I did see from set that he's in Galavan, because the Saint of Dumas, I didn't even think about that when it was on, because I wasn't really big into the Azrael.
I remember that now.
I didn't read After Nightfall, that whole thing. Much of it. I mean, I have some like Azrael comics, but I really wasn't into it at that point. So I don't know much about him. He's been the New 52.
I've got that Batman 500 where it's the chromium cover and he's swinging. That's gone up in value, actually. I noticed.
Was he in the game? Was he in one of the games?
Not that I remember. I've only played those through one time each. So
I saw
Arkham
that.
Origins? Did you play Arkham Origins?
That's on the PS4 or Xbox One?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He might have been.
Maybe you
I
showed
don't
up
remember.
in one of those.
I don't remember.
Maybe not.
Yeah, so is that who was in those tubes at the end? Because I couldn't tell.
I know Galavan was one of them. I don't know. It
It
looked like.
It looked like there was multiple ones of them.
Of Galavan?
Yeah. I don't know, but I know there was one definitely that looked just like the one that was in the foreground.
Yeah.
There's one in the background. The other one was kind of turned.
Yeah.
So,
it could have been some of the assassins that came over at the end of.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
If they got caught.
It looked like to me it was like trying to clone them. That was like they were trying to do.
Yeah, I would say that'd be big. But didn't he have a scar on his chest where he was shot?
Yeah. Maybe.
He had an umbrella down its throat.
Well, then you have
That's
one
true.
of them had the arm cut off.
Yeah, it was like a nubbin.
Yeah. That's why it made me think that.
So
that
maybe
was
a couple.
him,
He may play a
but,
couple
you
characters.
know, it was like they were trying to clone him, and it was
Yeah.
like deformed or something like that. I don't know.
It could be. That's a good
Interesting.
theory.
Interesting. Well, since this is a good segue point for our fan question, and thank you for those who are participating in our questions. If we pick it and read it, ask it here on air, when you hashtag it with GA question, we read it, you get...
No, AG.
That's what I said.
You're being dyslexic again.
I am. AG is
You
after
texted me last
Gotham.
night like, I think you were wrong. It's supposed to be GA. Never mind. I'm dyslexic.
No, I'm stupid. Checking the girders on the...
Rotary.
Rotary.
I'm dumb.
But anyway, it's a good segue since we were talking about what's in the... That's in the right pocket. Well, we were talking about the tubes and so forth. We'll go ahead and pick our winner, which is Sergeant Merca. Congratulations, Sergeant. He says, at After Gotham, with what we saw in Indian Hill, are we ready for metahumans? Hashtag AG question.
I am.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think.
why
I think
not?
we're all ready for it. Do we think it's something that will happen?
I mean, metahumans in the Batman world isn't so much, right? I mean, most of his characters, if not all of them, usually have they may have something like Victor Freeze is where he has to be in cold temperatures, but you know his power, he doesn't have powers.
Right.
He has a gun.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah,
Look, there's Clayface. I think he's
yeah,
probably one of the
you know,
most...
Man Bat's like a mutant. You know,
Right.
Clayface is he's and almost Killer Croc's almost a mutant type.
Yeah, I mean, Clayface is he was an actor for a while, but then he got mutated, so it wasn't like, I mean, he can
But it's like superpowers. You know, they have, I guess, like Croc obviously is very strong, and
right.
Man Bat can fly and has sensory, you know, hearing and stuff like that. So I don't know if that is that characterized as a metahuman or is it kind of a mutant?
Yeah, I don't. You know, and correct us if we're wrong, Sergeant. I don't think he was meaning like in the way that
like Flash or Aquaman or something like that. I mean,
how they became metahumans, but just of you know what we kind of got a little taste of in the Viper episode with the Venom, with super strength and.
But again, that's a reason for it.
Yeah.
You know, you're not just kind of.
You
don't just have powers.
Yeah,
you know?
is Indian Hill going to be the antithesis for?
I would say I would be okay with metahumans, but I kind of feel like they're not going down that road. It's going to be this experimental thing, you know, where even like with Scarecrow or
Firefly.
I think they're going to have something about them that maybe they heal, or you know, they're stronger or something like that. Like I think it's ideal, like something like what's happening in Hill, that a Killer Croc would come out of that. Mm-hmm. You know, because he's messing with DNA with a crocodile and a human, and then bam, you have Killer Croc. So something like that. I think that's what the kind of stuff that we're getting out of.
Yeah.
I don't think there's going to be necessarily someone with like super speed or superpowers. You know, that's
I mean, Batman's core villains are, you know, Penguin, Riddler, Joker. Guys were just insane and crazy and just willing to do anything. So his metahumans are always crossed over with Superman, with Justice League.
Yeah. Well, I was going to ask, do we need a Batman to have like a Clayface or a Killer Croc? I mean, is that something you really
No, I don't
expect
think so.
Gordon to handle on his own?
Yeah, I don't know. We go down. I think it's a little. I think with Bruce still being his age, it's a little early to bring in Killer Croc.
Yeah. Let's talk about Bruce, actually. He had some interesting scenes in this one. He's getting a little nutty. Don't know about that boy. He talks to Lee, and he says he feels intensely alive, invigorated. And I like that line where he says he believes people can be two things at once.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
That was the best scene for him, I think. My personal favorite, because there was so much underlying Batman.
Yeah.
Because Lee was like, if you go down this path, I'm going to stop you from having this, unrelenting obsession. Like,
Yeah.
well, that's right.
Batman.
It's
Yeah,
the whole
sure.
reason. So I liked all that underlying subtext.
Yeah,
in
the
that.
line that you're talking about, I wrote it down. You won't ever be the same. And he says, that's what I'm counting on.
Yeah, I thought that was a good scene for.
It was a very good scene.
Well, what do you think's behind that? Why does he want to become this other person that would happen to him with taking a life?
Why? What now?
Why does he not want to ever be the same? Why is he counting on changing?
Oh. Well, I think that the thing of what he was saying was, wasn't he telling? He was saying like, maybe I don't want to be that Bruce, or maybe that's the other Bruce.
Maybe that's the other Bruce, yeah.
I think the current Bruce that grew up can't kill, but he knows he wants to kill this guy, so he has to become something else to kill this guy, and he's willing to almost give up that guy, or else truly be two people to do it. Now, obviously, somewhere down the line, if he's truly Batman, he'll figure it out that he can't do that, or he won't do that, or Alfred will somehow stop him from doing that. But I tell you what, though, going back a scene, I really like the fact that Alfred is willing to kill the guy for him. I mean, I thought that was like, because I figured he would be like, no, you can't. You need to make sure, you kind of teach him the Batman way. But he's like, no,
Right.
I'll kill him.
There's a code.
You know what I mean? Like, I'll kill him because you're too innocent.
Well,
so-
he's been. I mean, Alfred's in this one's a former soldier.
Yeah.
He's killed before.
Correct.
In battle, so he's trying to protect Bruce from, because once you do that, there's no. And Batman's always said that. He says if you, I think the quote from Batman is, if you kill a killer, then you've lowered yourself to basically become a killer. That standard yourself.
Right.
You got to be better than that. I think Alfred's just saying, look, once you do that, there's no coming back from it. That you can't reverse that. So I think it's Alfred's way of stepping in and being like, look, I've already done it. I've already changed because of it, so I don't want you to. But I think Bruce got a taste of it when he did his whole, did that whole thing with Silver.
Right.
I think he was like, hey, wait a minute. I can manipulate people to do what I want to do and get the answers I want. And that's kind of core Batman,
Right.
He has a contingency plan for everybody. So he's always, I think it's just kind of his evolution.
Where do you think that turning point will come, though, Russ? Do you think it'll be from Alfred, or do you think it could actually be from maybe Selina, since she's sort of almost been a voice of reason for him?
Yeah, I don't know if it'll come in the conclusion of this whole matches Malone thing, but I think that'll be the key to him changing, fully, but really becoming, okay, I've got to train, I've got to be a detective, I got to do all the things I got to do, because we've talked about this when we first had this quest of Bruce trying to find his parents' killer, is that it's what drives him, the unknown of who Joe Chill is, or actually kills. So I think they have to somehow spin that into Bruce becoming obsessive about fighting crime and not fighting his parents' killer. Because that's his only goal right now. So it's got to be bigger than that. I think this confrontation with Masters Malone has got to send him to that next level. I think he's got to be like, I can't kill. It's maybe not about just my parents. It's maybe about doing the right thing for Gotham. Everything's bigger than just myself. I don't think Bruce has realized that yet. I don't think he's at that point. I think maybe the Matches Malone thing, however it plays out, might be that stepping stone to the next level.
Patrick Matches Malone. Dave, does that have any comic book reference?
It does.
Ho, ho, ho.
Matches Malone?
Yeah.
Yeah. in the comic books, every time Bruce goes undercover and infiltrates a gang, to become he always infiltrates and does undercover work with inside of gangs. He always has a matchstick in his mouth. He puts a fake mustache on, glasses, and he matches Malone.
There you go. That's why there's two of them on in the
didn't know
comics,
that.
because if one doesn't know, the other one does.
I told him I thought I was like,
Vice versa.
Well,
I was like, did I
gonna-
tell you the whole matches Malone thing? Did I explain it to you? Okay, good.
Well, that's weird because I was
his
just
undercover
thinking,
persona.
I was just thinking that I kind of feel like I'm just guessing, obviously, but I kind of feel like that this is not going to be the killer.
Yeah, I don't think. Actually, I agree.
I don't think
it'll be
killer.
because, again, I don't know if he's going to use that as like his undercover. But that's where I get the information from. Is like every time he went undercover, infiltrated somebody, he was always matches Malone, a gangster who killed people, rough and tough.
Nice, yeah.
So I think I agree with Dave. I think it might not be the killer because I don't think much like the Joker. I don't think we have a definitive. This is the guy, and now I got to confront him. I don't know.
I think eventually maybe we find out it's Joe Chill.
Joe Chill?
Yeah.
I mean, eventually finds that out, but I don't think we said this I think last season in the very beginning was I think this is the one thing that I think is going to carry on throughout the entire series. I do. I think he's going to run into roadblocks along the way as he's learning to be Batman, as learning to be, fight fairly and train and all this stuff. So, because think about it, if at the end of the season he gets to the point where Alfred kills this guy, I mean, why would he ever become Batman?
Right.
So this has got to stretch for a long time.
Yeah.
Yep. I agree.
Well, this was interesting. Hugo Strange overheard the conversation between Gordon and Penguin about Penguin lying for him about killing Galavan. Hugo Strange now knows this, and I thought Jim was acting kind of stupid
I do too.
when he was like, "Bring him over here. Bring him over here. Oh, you're not happy? You're not happy here? Wait, you're gonna say something? Take him away." Jim, come on.
Yeah.
Be like, "Hey, best buddy, I'm gonna get you out of here. Everything's good." What
Totally agree
what
with
is
that.
he doing?
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, that was strange. I don't know if it was just to set that whole scene up for somebody else to know the truth.
Yeah.
No, obviously, I think so.
So I think it's the only reason for it because it didn't make. I was the same way. I was like,
Come on.
what? Why? He can just tell on you. That's all he's got to do. It's all over.
He's in a nut house. You don't think? Well, maybe that's why he's like, "Oh, he's crazy. He's insane."
That's possible, but I mean, why would he?
Why would he?
Why would you risk it?
Tim-
I wouldn't even. Yeah, you just let him keep going. You don't
Yeah.
even stop him.
Hi,
Talk to him.
Oswald.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm bit. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Take him away.
Yep.
But maybe this electroshock therapy that he's getting will take that away. I mean, what do you think is in store for the Penguin?
Yeah, I do think that the shocking. Well, see, again, now that Strange knows, he wouldn't do anything to maybe cause him to forget that or something like that. Because if he's doing some mind stuff to him, he may completely forget who he is. Kind of thing. I don't know, but no, somehow he's got to play with it and use it and hold it against Gordon somehow. It's obviously. I mean, I'm assuming he recorded it. I don't know if he just heard it. Maybe he's got it on tape or something like that.
Yeah,
I don't know. But
I don't know.
But then again, he might not even what he's doing. He might not even care.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Back to the freaks.
Yeah, exactly.
This guy's got 4 fingers.
Yeah. It just seemed. Yeah. I don't really know what's going on with Penguin. I was really confused that storyline other than the fact that he's being tortured, and there was very little information that came out of it. There was very little progression of that story. It was just being tortured in a insane asylum from the last episode.
Yeah.
Isn't his dad supposed to show up at some point?
Yes, Paul Rubens.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know.
So-
I don't know what I don't know where they're going with that.
don't
I really can't telegraph that too much.
Yeah.
I tried, but I was like, I don't know what's going.
Well, I have a very important question for both of you, and that is, who does
No,
the
Chad, I won't do that.
No, not that. Not again. Who does the inmates' hair in Arkham? Because they've got like these safety pins in their hair, and it's up in a do, and
Mrs.
they've
Peabody,
got.
obviously.
Is that her hobby?
Side
just
character.
On the
goes
side,
around.
yeah.
How are we gonna do? You want to? Oh, you're crazy. So I'm gonna give you a crazy hairdo. We can put some clothespins in here and some paper clips,
Yeah.
and you can act like that.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. Well,
But Barbara's fine. She was just asleep and well coiffed.
Coiffed. She was coiffed. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Her that scene.
A little bit of tension there.
There is, yeah.
Lee.
I mean, I get why they wanted Lee to see her, but I was kind of like, she's just asleep the whole time.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's asleep.
And I didn't really understand Mrs. Peabody's, because she went from, Barbara's going to be here. She's in the infirmary with Nora. Are you okay with that? Lee's like, yeah, it's fine. And then, but she like really, not Lee, but Mrs. Peabody got very defensive. Like, are you sure? You got a problem? And she just went like off. And I was like,
oh, look
what?
who's in here. Oops. I bet you got a problem with that. You don't?
So, I mean, I get it, but again, I was kind of like, just for her to like, yeah, exactly.
Slap you around. I'll call you the B words while I do.
The show's on at 8 o'clock. It's supposed to be.
Yeah, right.
It's not exactly a family show. It's TV 14.
True.
Yeah, so lastly, and they played this up rather fully, Ace Chemicals, beginning of the show. Kept showing the sign. All right, we're about ready to go into Ace Chemicals. It's like, we get it. It's a Easter egg for a reason. You don't have to announce it. But for those who are not comic book fans or just watching the show and learning about this stuff for the first time.
What's wrong with you?
What's wrong with you, first of all? Shame on you. No, don't leave. Tell us significance of Ace Chemicals. What's so big about Ace Chemicals?
Well, that's where the Joker's
Yes.
falls into Ace Chemicals and
That's where Batman's trying to
save
him, but he falls off the
Red Hood at the time, right?
Red.
Correct.
Yeah, and kind of the definitive. Again, I don't want to say definitive, but kind of like the
Most
one of the main
agreed upon.
stories. He was a stand-up comedian. He wanted to get. He had to help. He had robbed to help his wife, his family, and did the whole Red Hood thing, and fell in the vat, went crazy.
Okay.
Yeah. And New 52 is the same way, but the Red Hood gang is there was a Red Hood gang in the New 52 where there were multiple Red Hoods, not just the one.
Right.
And
you never know if it's
And it hinted at that he was the one. There was one that fell in the chemicals, and he's the one that kind of became the Joker. But yeah, he's and Joker. That's how he kind of uses Ace Chemicals for all his Joker gas and laughing gas and all that. It's all kind of he's a chemist, right? He becomes like a chemist and makes all this stuff with all these chemicals
and we may see Ace Chemicals in Suicide Squad.
I was wondering about that, yeah.
It's very possible.
Yeah.
Very possible. Which would be a totally
I hope
different.
so.
Which would no, it's part New 52, part I don't know if they're going
It
to do
was in
much
the
of
89
original.
Batman. That was Ace Chemicals.
It was Ace Chemicals.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It
Very
was.
good. Well, that'll about do it. I'm hoping to see the full-blown Mr. Freeze suit, and I hope it changes his voice. I hope he sounds like that. And, hopefully Nora, I'm on team Nora's not
Now
dead.
putting me in the cool.
Oh,
That's
no.
what I want to see.
No. Chill out, Gordon.
That was a cool. His evolution of the suit in a span of 2 episodes.
Yeah.
It was like,
pretty good.
an astronaut suit in this episode is what it looked like.
Yeah, he was just
Very
goggles
Major
and
Tom. Yeah, he went from
the
Captain
winter coat
Cold
to the whole thing.
I'm an astronaut. I'm a spaceman. Yeah.
He got some time on his hands.
You can catch these guys again on In the Comics Dead Edition. Tell us real quick about that and where we can catch it.
It's right on this YouTube channel, same YouTube channel, 21 Network.
Probably somewhere down in one of these.
Yeah, it's one of the playlists.
Oh, in the playlist, sure.
We every week we're talking Walking Dead, from Walking Dead to Fear the Walking Dead and the comic and how it relates. So everything Walking Dead. That's what the Dead Edition's about.
And how can we find you on the tweets?
At In the Comics.
Boom. There you go.
He's Director 421. I'm D Cottingham 21.
I'm Chad Perkins 21, I think. And we are at...
He's chapter
Gotham?
12. He's dyslexic.
No, it's 21. That's why I made 21 for a reason. So that'll do it for this episode of Gotham After. And we will see you guys next week. Until then, you stay frosty.